Hi everyone, welcome back to the Dr. Sia channel. In the video here today, we're going to talk about again that idea that there are things that we can do, there are things we can remind ourselves of, or there are ways that we can feel to actually have more self-worth. Well, let's get started. Alright, so if you haven't seen my other videos, we've already talked about ideas around, are good people more worthy than bad people? Can we rank our sense of self-worth? And are there things that we can do to be more worthy? Are there things we can remind ourselves of to feel more worthy? And then this will be the last sort of video in this series on worth, because this one is talking about, are there ways that we can feel to be more worthy? Basically, if we feel in one way or another, can we have more worth as human beings? Now, that might sound odd to you, but there are a lot of people out there who think that if they are able to feel in a particular way, then that means that they have more worth than other human beings. And conversely, there are a lot of people who think that if they don't feel, or if they do feel in particular ways, that they have less worth than other human beings. And I'll give you a good example of that. A patient of mine said that they are not worthy, as a human being. They don't have a lot of worth as a human being because they tend to get angry. Now, if you think about that, that just means that, first of all, anger, which is a feeling that we all have, at some point, this person has learned that having that feeling means that you're less worthy as a person. Well, then does that mean that if having certain feelings means that we are less worthy as human beings, does that mean that when we are in situations where we're not really feeling much at all, that we are less worthy in those situations? What if I'm watching a movie, and the point of movies is to elicit a lot of feeling, one point of it at least, and I might be watching a boring movie and I might not be liking the movie lots at all. Does that mean that I'm feeling that I'm more worthy as a human being in that moment because I have zero anger at that moment, but I'm just basically bored? What about if someone is trying to hurt me a lot and really, really hurt me, and I get angry at that person and I defend myself? Does that mean that I lose my worth as a human being? What about any of the other feelings? What about feeling sad? I've had so many patients tell me that when they feel sad, that they become weaker or somehow lesser as human beings, that they become vulnerable somehow. When we think about that, what does that even really mean? Can you actually become a lesser human being through being sad? I thought that sadness is just something that we have to grieve and to process the losses that we've had in our lives. I didn't know that sadness had anything to do with our human worth. Well, in fact, it doesn't. And one of the really good things about ISTDP, or intensive short-term dynamic psychotherapy, and the theory that comes along with that, is that we know that no feeling that a human being has, no feeling whatsoever, and no urge to act on a feeling makes a person less worthy than another person. There's no feeling that you could mention, from anger to joy to happiness to sadness to love to whatever, that could fill you up, that would make you more or less worthy as a human being. A person who walks around with a feeling of love constantly and compassion towards humanity is no more worthy than a person who walks around angry all the time. How we feel has nothing to do with how worthy we are. Unfortunately, this is something that abused, criticized, traumatized children, neglected children often do not know. Meaning that what happens is that their feelings start getting involved with their sense of self-worth. They start learning that what they are worthy equates to how they feel. So if they're avoidant and they can avoid those feelings, they might be more worthy. If they're ambivalent and they can contain those feelings and focus on other people instead, then they'll be more worthy. If they're disorganized and they can keep themselves perpetually in a state of suffering, then they are more worthy. Of course, none of those things are true. And what we do in ISTDP therapy is that we help a person remove any concept that sits there telling a person that feeling in a particular way makes them more worthy than feeling in another way. We remove those ideas so that the person can feel however they feel without that affecting their worth in any way. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do comment. If you find these useful, let me know. I'm happy to talk about worth again. Or if indeed there's any other topic that you want me to talk about and tie that back to psychodynamic, behavioral, or cognitive theory, but preferably psychodynamic because that's sort of what I'm trying to focus on the most. But again, I can also do behavioral and cognitive. Anyway, subscribe, like, let me know what you think about these videos. Let your friends know. Press that bell button. Follow me on Insta. Oh, all these plugs are so difficult to remember. I keep forgetting. Have I done all the plugging? I think I did all the plugging. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.